He puts the bang in Bangladesh. Is it Bengali or Bangladeshi? The land of biryani. Assalamu alaikum everyone, what's up? Welcome back to another tea talk. Today I want to talk about meeting my desi in-laws for the first time. For those of you guys that don't know, my husband is Bangladeshi, so him and his family come from a country called Bangladesh. I, however, come from a country called the Philippines, and as you can imagine, it's already pretty nerve-wracking to meet your boyfriend or your husband's family for the first time. But with us, we were the first interracial, intercultural, interfaith couple in our entire community, so there was a lot of like added pressure and complications and all that kind of stuff. Before we get into the juicy story though, I am gonna go ahead and make my tea, so you go ahead and get yourself a drink, get yourself a snack, and let's go ahead and chat. Today I'm gonna be drinking the spiced apple chai. I love this thing so much. This is actually a gift from Chelsea. When Chelsea was here, I miss her so much. Looks like that on the inside, and it just smells amazing as well, so I can't wait to drink it. I don't know if I just want to have it black or if I want to mix some milk into it as well, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. I'm just gonna take 1 teaspoon. Just kidding, I'm taking another one because I like it spicy. I'm just gonna let that brew, so let's get started with the video. Actually, just before we begin, I just want to address this really quick. The definition of interracial marriage is a marriage between two racial or ethnic group. So we do still fit into the whole term of interracial marriage, because even though we both come from the continent of Asia, Asia is such a huge continent and there's so many like different ethnic groups within Asia, so even though we're all the same race, all the different ethnic groups have vastly different cultures within them. It's the same when people say like that China and Japan and Korea and stuff like that, they're the only like real Asians, or like they're the Asians. It's like, what the bloody hell am I then? We fake Asians? We'll talk about that in another video though. So I met Tanzim's parents for the first time on Tanzim's graduation day. I met my Amani, my mother-in-law, first, and I met her before already, but we weren't like out in the open with our relationship just yet. Of course, she knew the truth though. All mothers know when their babies are seeing someone or when they're starting to fall in love and all that kind of stuff. It's like mommy's superpower to know these things. My mama knew too, and even when I finally told my dad as well, he was all like, I already knew. But now we were at the point where we already came out to our parents about our relationship and things like that. So of course, leading up to graduation day, we already talked about everything and, you know, what to expect and, you know, trying to prepare for these things, even though there's really no way to like properly prepare for like meeting your in-laws or your future in-laws for the first time. I was nervous and scared because I knew that Tanzim's parents were more on the traditional side, and so I was prepared for, you know, some hesitation. They've never had to deal with something like this before, because with a lot of cultures, like a lot of them expect their children to kind of, ooh, I made a mess. That looks pretty cool. It's like a layered tea. Focus, Sam, focus. More foreseen similarities anyways, like, you know, they come from the same community, they speak the same language, they eat the same kind of food, and, you know, most of the time they have the same religion as well. But obviously when you leave your home country and you migrate to a new country, you're gonna come across a lot of different people from different walks of life, and there's going to be, you know, people from different cultures and all that kind of stuff. Basically, your chances of marrying into the same, like, region or the same like ethnicity and stuff like that decreases a whole lot, which is the reason why you have people like me and my husband. I couldn't resist his spicy chocolateness, and he was mental for the oriental, so bam, interracial marriage. But anyways, on the day itself, I knew I was going to meet my boyfriend's traditional Muslim parents, so I really had to like prepare myself from this meeting, and I was already very awkward. Like at that point, I have a really weird like anxiety issue with meeting people, and so I was already super duper nervous. It was also a big day for Tanzim, of course, because he's graduating, and so it was kind of a formal event, and so I wanted to wear something that was modest and elegant. I wasn't wearing the hijab at this point, and I wasn't Muslim at this point as well, but I was already looking into Islam, but I didn't tell a single soul. It was literally just me doing all the research, and that was probably like one of the only secrets I kept from Tanzim, and it was so hard. But yeah, I remember I didn't have anything that was formal and also modest, and I remember wearing like this really long midnight blue dress, and it had like huge slits on both sides, but I wore like really opaque leggings underneath, and then I put a jacket on as well because it was like a sleeveless dress. I wish I could show you guys like photos of that day, but yeah, I wasn't wearing the hijab, so I can't really show you those things. So when Tanzim and I talked about this whole day, it was actually just going to be a brief meeting between me and his parents, because I was just going to meet them, you know, casually while everyone was there, while we were in the lobby and things like that. It wasn't like a formal sit down or have having some coffee and talking over some things. So, you know, it was just like a hi hello type of thing. I already knew his brother because his brother went to the same high school as we did, and so I've met like his brother like so many years before this initial meeting with the parents, because I've known Tausif since he was like 12. Now he's taller than me. But yeah, a lot of our closest friends actually went into engineering with Tanzim, so they were all graduating that day as well. So I wasn't actually alone. I was with our like group of friends, and everyone knew that I was so scared. I was so nervous. They were all guys though, so instead of like reassuring me, they were just like teasing me the whole time, like, you're gonna meet the parents. Zero help. But moving on with the story, everyone was like in the lobby and things like that, and I spot like Tanzim and his brother and their parents coming like this way, and I was like, oh my god, this is it, is gonna happen. And I haven't met Tanzim's dad prior to this as well, but I've heard like stories from our friends and things like that, and everyone was telling me like he's a really serious guy and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, this is not helping. And so now they're like right in front of me and we're like meeting each other and things like that. Amani is obviously very, very warm and sweet and lovely. Abuji, my father-in-law, has always been very formal, and especially in the beginning, so I was just like, oh, hello sir, and all that kind of, I called him sir. I remember calling him sir and thinking that I was such an idiot. And yeah, we had like a little small talk, and I told them to gather, and I took their photo and things like that because I had like the professional camera and stuff, and I was just taking photos of everybody. And everyone's like, all of my friends though, can I just say, all of my friends were giving me like stares. This was honestly the point where I was like, I need more girlfriends, because these guys were not helping me at all. They were just like staring at me like, oh, what is she gonna do next? And just laughing at how awkward I was with the whole like encounter. One of our friends' parents were there as well, and they were looking at me like, you okay? Are you okay? They're like my second family, honestly. Like, they're like my second parents, and they knew it was like the first meeting and stuff like that. And yeah, everyone was kind of just like tense but also very entertained. So after that encounter, we split up with them because we were gonna go around the entire university with our friends just to take photos and things like that for memory's sake. And I remember after that encounter, I was so self-conscious, like, oh my god, did I look like an idiot? Why did I call him sir? And all that kind of stuff. Like, I was just rethinking the whole thing in my head and like reviewing every little like step I did and whether it was like stupid or not. So we originally didn't have like further plans for that day to like reunite with them or anything like that. They were just gonna have their own like family dinner and celebrate Tanzim's graduation and things like that, because it is like an event, right? So they were gonna have their family dinner, and I actually had so many things to do that day as well because I had this like humongous essay that I like barely started. So later on that day, while we were like going around and taking photos and having food with our friends and stuff like that, Tanzim gets a call from his mom, and she's saying that Abuji wants to invite Sam to dinner, so tell her to come dinner with us tonight at the Grill. The Grill is like this amazing restaurant in New Zealand. I think it's in the Sky Tower if I remember correctly. They got some good steaks, but at the time that was like the last of my concern, because now I have to prepare for this like huge like proper like meeting, because I literally thought it was just gonna be like, you know, a hi hello at the lobby, and then we're gonna gap and we're gonna, you know, be on our own and take photos around the university and stuff like that, and then I'll properly meet them, I don't know, another day sometime in the future. But then all of that was gonna happen like tonight, at this date. And I remember Tanzim telling me like, okay, don't freak out, but you are gonna have dinner with me and my family tonight, and yeah. And I was just like, oh my god, am I ready for this? I'm so nervous. I'm so bad with people. I called him sir. Anyways, fast forward from me freaking out and all that kind of stuff, because from that time that we got the phone call to like dinner time, I was just freaking out the entire time and like trying to like, you know, plan for this big ass dinner that has so much on the line, right? Because of course, like, you want to get along with your in-laws or your future in-laws, because this is going to be like your family in the future. You know what I mean? You're gonna be part of their family in the future, or inshallah anyways, right? And when we got there, I remember that we had to wait a while because our table wasn't ready yet because we were quite early, and so we were all just sitting down and stuff like that. But Tanzim's dad was sitting somewhere else because there were no other like seats where we were sitting. So I remember I like stood up and I went to go sit with Tanzim's dad, and I was just talking to him and all that kind of stuff, trying to get to know him better. And he was super duper friendly. He was really sweet and really friendly. And so I remember thinking back to my friend saying that he was serious and stuff like that, and I was just like, really? So me and his dad were just talking the entire time, from the time like we were ordering, like asking for suggestions and things like that, and we were just talking about like everything. Like conversation flowed really well, and it's so funny because we still laugh about it to this day, because I remember like everything was going great with like me and his dad, and we were like chatting and talking and conversation was going well, but I remember like feeling like the whole table was like listening in and was very cautious with the both of us, like what's happening now type of thing, you know what I mean? Like everyone was like engaged with our conversation, and like of course Tanzim's very protective as well, and so he was just like intently like waiting like next to me and stuff like that, like okay, let's see where this, you know, situation takes us. Later on that night I found out that the reason why everyone was like so engaged was because he is like typically quiet apparently, and so all chatty and laughing and having this wonderful conversation, it's like a rare sight. It's so cute to think about it now actually. Oh, it's such a cute moment. I even remember Tanzim telling me that his mom told him that his dad really liked me, and that I reminded him of like an old friend that he had. But that was honestly such a special night, and it went so great. The outcome of that night was so much better than what Tanzim and I were expecting and was prepared for and things like that. It was just perfect. But yeah, Alhamdulillah, it was the first of many dinners together, and many memories and laughter and food shared, and it was just such a beautiful start to a wonderful relationship. I'm honestly like, Alhamdulillah, so blessed with such wonderful in-laws. I know there's so many like horror in-law stories out there and things like that, and I'm so happy I'm not one of those people that have stories like that. We of course have our differences sometimes, that's just how family is, and we are family and we love each other, and I wouldn't change anything about us. Alright, I'm gonna end this video before I get emotional. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!